Hey folks, I want to come on here and shoot another quick solo podcast. This would be around 15 minutes, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, or they say in Spain, más o menos. I think that's it. Firstly, I wanted to chat about sponsorship on the show. For those of you who don't know, on episode 12, I talked briefly about maybe getting a business or brand company organization to come on here and to work together. Hopefully in the medium term, maybe 3 episodes, five episodes, maybe a bit more. I'm open to things. I'm really interested to see what could happen to work with someone. If anyone out there is thinks that I could align with, or put me in touch, or vice versa, if I can reach out to someone, please let me know. I can put a watermark on either corner or hats or a t-shirt, but I really like to align with the person or with the that um, or really like to align or have similar values in order for it to work. I don't want to be promoting something or pushing something that I don't believe in, that I don't really use, that I don't really have much thought about. So yeah, so feel free to just thought I'd feel free to check out my email. Excuse me, it's on social media, and it's under Ryan, or YANWCONLAN. That's Conlan, CONLAN, at gmail.com, and you can reach out there. I may add it in the description, see how things go. Today's episode is going to be a little different. First of all, it's Friday the 31st of October, so happy Halloween. I don't know if you're going to a party, trick-or-treating, or if you have something lined up costume-wise. Hopefully you can stay safe and enjoy yourselves. I sound like someone's parent there, so I'll slow down a bit and get into the topic of the show, which is, as a Irishman, I never think too much about saying I'm a white Irishman, so that may be because of my geography, I'm not too sure, but Black History Month is something that I've heard about a number of times, and I know and being based in Dublin, Ireland at the moment, there is a company, I don't think I mentioned this, I'll talk about it now. A company called EY, which did a report with Made by Dyslexia. I did a TEDx talk anyway, it sounds a bit narcissistic, but on dyslexia, and EY were not, I didn't, anyway, EY are a company called Ernst & Young, and their tagline, EY Ireland, shape the future with confidence. Hopefully you won't have me do as or ums. EY, or Ernst & Young, is a global professional services organization that helps clients with a wide range of services, including assurance. This isn't sponsorship, by the way. Consulting, strategy, tax, and transactions. It works with companies to help them manage risk, grow, transform, and make confident decisions, often using data and technology to provide solutions. EY operates in more than 150 countries and provides services across many industries, including technology, financial services, health, and energy. The reason why I bring that up is they have offices in Dublin on Harcourt Street, EY building, Harcourt Street, Dublin 2, and outside there is a sign which had the Green Ribbon Month in September, and now it is Black History Month. I thought it was quite fascinating, and what came up is a number of things. For me, some findings, which I'll chat about today on the show. What's more important to note, there is a figure in history called, which I think I'll get upon. I'll get into it. First of all, second of all, blackhistorymonth.ie. Well, you could say first of all, I take back the initial statement. Black History Month. This is a website that I happened to come across earlier. It has a number of different things about our contributions, news/updates, and contact. And it says inspire through people. In recognizing the humanity of our fellow beings, we pay ourselves the highest tribute. Our work never brags, but it sure loves to speak for itself. Black enthusiasts, the driving force of all speeches. We believe that creation should be the point around which any communication strategy revolves. highlighting the critical role that Black women have played in shaping history, inspiring change, and building communities. And we go into why Black history. I want to keep this podcast short and sweet, so won't get into it too much. I'd love to interview someone a bit more about this topic. However, the one thing is this person sort of fascinates me for some reason, and I'll probably get into why. I bought his book or his biography. I think it's let me just double check. Biography. A detailed factual account of a person's life written by someone other than, I think it was an autobiography or biography. It's been a while. It's about 2019, 2020. But Black History Month is traditionally celebrated from the 1st of February to the 1st of March, annually coinciding with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass, who I wanted to talk about. That's his book, autobiography or biography, and Abraham Lincoln. So what's also interesting to note is Black History Month is in October now. It says on the website. But anyway, this is not a diss on the website. But Wednesday, October 1st, 2025 to Friday, October 31st, 2025 is Black History Month. So I'll get into it. Seeing the invisible, the reasons why we celebrate Black History Month. Black History Month is celebrated because it supports and celebrates the huge contribution that Black men and women have made to the world. For most part of history, it has been known that Black history has been ignored, sidelined, and often people are not aware of the many contributions Black men and women have made to society. It now questions whether Black is history, or excuse me, where I'm presuming this, whether Black history should be taught all year around instead of just 1 month. Black History Month enables individuals, both old and young, to gain broader understanding about Black history, is going beyond racism and slavery to also spotlight Black achievement. The UK's first Black History Month took place in 1987. Black History Month is a great opportunity for people from all backgrounds to educate themselves on Black history and the often overlooked people who have made a difference in the world. The UK's first Black History Month, I think that's already mentioned, so I won't get into it. But it states the first one that took place in 1987 was rallied by a Ghanaian analyst called Akyaba Adi Sibu. Forgive me if I got that wrong. Who had served as a coordinator of special projects for the Greater London Council and created a collaboration to get it underway. You need to be sure that there isn't anything, and I think there's a few other things. I'll stop there on the website. But it mentions, let's go on a global journey of the African diaspora with little known historical facts and learn about the contributions of Black people throughout the world. And there's photos of a number of figures that are maybe popular today, including LeBron James. One sec, I just zoomed in. Floyd Mayweather. I think I was watching a bit of Aretha Franklin last night as well, which is, I think there's something on TV about her now. And one sec, just let me look this up. Just look up popular figures in Black history, which is really interesting to note. Rosa Parks comes to mind, which I recognize. Malcolm X, which I recognize the name. Jesse Owens, Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, I recognize a lot of the names. However, well, maybe 20% or 80% of the names. That's why I think it's good to talk about this today. Could know a lot more of them off the top of mind. Muhammad Ali, I recognize that name, but James Baldwin. There's plenty of people. South Africa is, well, these are the diaspora, so maybe not, or maybe Rep. John Lewis, President Barack Obama. We just keep having a bit of a look at some figures in history that I recognize. top of mind. It's a shame I don't know a lot of them, but I suppose I'm also being hard on myself because I do have a lot on my plate at the moment, but it'd still be great to know, which not all the time, but it'd still be good to know more. But I think I touched upon a few very interesting people and their stories and their impacts on history. For example, Jesse Owens. We'll get into Frederick Douglass, the one thing at the moment which I'm fascinated by, but just touch upon this. Jesse Owens, 1913 to 1980. Owens was a track and field athlete who set a world record in the long jump in 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin, which went unrivaled for 25 years. And there's a number other of very interesting things. Very interesting people, excuse me. I didn't mean things as in very interesting. For those who don't know, I'm looking at a website here, and what I mean by things is there's photos on the left-hand side, and in the center there is a lot of paragraphs. And what I mean by interesting things popping up, for example, Life magazine is highlighted, famously Told Life is highlighted as a number of highlighted things. So excuse me, there's some detail for you. I didn't mean to sound anything the wrong way. If anyone took it that way, for example, nominated for an Emmy is an interesting thing. But this is great, Black History Month, and I wanted to speak upon a person called Frederick Douglass. Particularly, he has an association. I think he visited Ireland, which is fascinating. It could be on the website. Let me just double check. Black History Month. This is cool before I get into Frederick Douglass. Our pride. The Black History Month quote empowers everyone who is racially suppressed to break the walls that society has created for them and rise. Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations. Dr. Mae Jemison. The theme of, that's 2022. Anyway, so let's get into, I think we're about 5 minutes in, so only 12 minutes in. Oh, wow. Let's touch upon Frederick Douglass. The one thing that I'd love to take away for anyone out there. I find this person just very fascinating. And I'll get his story up now. There's so much. I think I may leave a link as well. But I'll touch upon some of the, let's just get a quick summary. By the way, he visited Ireland. Fearing for his own safety, Frederick Douglass, under the threat of capture and return to slavery, Frederick sailed across the Atlantic and landed in Dublin on August 31st, 1845. Although he only planned a short stay, he spent 4 months touring and lecturing in Dublin, Wexford, Waterford, Youghal, Cork, Limerick, and Belfast. And in the Museum of Literature Ireland, there is a exhibition, Literature and Ideas, Frederick Douglass in Ireland. Born into slavery in the early 19th century, Frederick Douglass remains one of the most important and influential figures of the American abolitionist movement. A self-educated writer and activist, Douglass escaped his enslavement and published a defining memoir, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, bringing notoriety and fame that saw him briefly leave the United States. His travels took him to Ireland, a country that influenced him greatly. In Ireland, he published a second edition of the narrative and met his hero, the Irish political leader and famed orator Daniel O'Connell. Douglass's time in Ireland is of lasting importance. This year we celebrated the 175th anniversary of his visit and the role Ireland played in his own life journey. The good Irishman said to the other that it was a pity so fine a little fellow as myself should be a slave for life. He said it was a shame to hold me. From Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, Frederick Douglass, 1845. And this is on the exhibition's website, the Museum of Literature. I think, let me just scroll down. Safe in Old Ireland, fearing for his own safety and under the threat of capture and return to slavery, Frederick sailed across the Atlantic. I already mentioned this, but let me just repeat for a sec. The Atlantic, and landed in Dublin on August 31st, 1845. Although he only planned a short stay, he spent 4 months touring and lecturing, which I already mentioned, in Dublin, Wexford, Waterford, York, Cork, Limerick, and Belfast. Although Frederick had escaped to the northern states that did not permit slavery, the danger of capture and return to his master became more pressing amid the popularity and public surrounding of Frederick's narrative and his frequent public abolitionist lectures. Encouraged by his friends to seek sanctuary across the Atlantic, Frederick set sail from Boston to Liverpool, arriving 3 days later in Dublin to meet Richard Webb, with whom he would publish an Irish edition of his own narrative. Although Frederick only planned to stay in Dublin a few days, the warmth and kinship he felt with the Irish people led him to stay 4 months in Ireland. I do not recollect of never seeing my mother by the light of day, from the narrative of Frederick Douglass, an American slave. Frederick Douglass, 1845, abolitionist lecture. Maybe I'll continue just reading a small bit more. I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to, hopefully I can leave the website below. I think it's pretty fascinating that a slave in America, or born into slavery. I'd have to check the nuance of the context. I'm pretty sure an African American felt some warmth and kinship in Dublin, Ireland, and felt like he could stay here while things maybe, or was advised by his friends to stay here, or to seek maybe some safety here, which is really interesting. I'm not saying that Ireland is the best country in the world. However, I just found it really interesting to note that maybe Ireland has a bit of a significant role to play in Black History Month. And that's 17 minutes, so I thought I'd leave it there. And for those that are wondering whether they can find out a bit more about Frederick Douglass, he does have a book. I gifted it to someone. I haven't read it myself, which I probably could, but I did gift it to someone. And I will leave a bit more details about Frederick Douglass and his life. There's a lot of people. We got Rosa Parks, a lot of people's story, but Frederick Douglass and the Irish connection just stands out for me at the moment, being based in Dublin, Ireland. And that's it, folks. Hope you have a wonderful evening trick-or-treating. And I thought I'd mention Frederick and his journey to Ireland and Black History Month. Thanks.